Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Robbie B. And joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher, Stephen Ford, and Mike Haspel. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog. Great to be here.
Yo, what's happening, everybody?
What's going on?
The gang is back together this week. No more
on the mic with Mike.
No more two-man in. Woo, hot boxing it. Now, last week was good. We talking about that haters hate. I mean, traders hate. I mean, what is it called now?
Traders gonna hate, dog. And it's actually funny because the whole codex is about hatred. Like, you get hatred in everything. It is traders gonna hate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't wait till there's a universal special rule that is like hatred. The salt level rises. You instantly become salt level 10, which gives you
the ability to reroll all your mistakes against that motherfucker that you're salty about.
Yeah.
Oh, I just realized
after 2 turns of in-depth saltiness, you have to make a toughness test.
You have been now bestowed the ability to pwn noobs effortlessly.
And the rule needs to be called like "It tastes of the sea."
Tears are so sweet. Your tears sustain me.
Oh, so good.
So I think we got a good show for everybody tonight. It's episode 68, and you know it comes after 68. But for tonight,
70.
Yep.
Is it 70?
It is. Good job.
70 does indeed come after 68.
The title of tonight's episode is Are the Blood Angels Back? Because, well, Blood Angels coming out soon, coming in hot, so to speak. We say that a lot. So we're going to have a lot to say about that. But before we get to that, definitely have a tabletop market watch. Me and Haspel got some stuff to say, especially about the big FFG GW breakup, because that's kind of big. You got the 2 biggest elephants in the room now parting ways, and that's going to be something big to talk about there. So I know we're going to.
I don't know if elephant in the room is the right
gorilla,
the right colloquialism. I think that you're 2 big dick swingers in the room.
Yeah, you can go that way, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yo, Robbie B, I want you to know when we were talking off air before, it's like, FFG and the GW has parted ways, and I was like, wait a second, Robbie B, you sold your hobby shop. Why would you part ways with GW now? I didn't think you guys were a thing. And then my letters just, they get jumbled sometimes.
Oh, because the old
your old game store,
Get out of here. Oh wow, we
got cats. Come to find out, the cat command center is real.
So it's a new game called Let's Try to Eat Rob's Headset Cable. So that's not gonna fly right now.
Classic cat game.
Yep, classic. So Haspel, what do you got some video game stuff, and I know you have some thoughts on the FFG stuff, and then I want to come in after that and lay down some stuff and talk about the new GW products.
All right, good deal. Well, let's start off. We have Eternal Crusade. That is a persistent combat MMO that I'm sure you guys have heard of. It's a third person.
Wait, what did you say that was? What was the type? A persistent? Wait, what's this?
Yeah,
genre?
So it is a persistent combat MMO. So the idea is you can just jump in and fight in a battle like say Battlefield or Call of Duty, where you just jump in, play a map, jump out. But in Eternal Crusade, that actually matters. So there is an overall world map, and when your faction, say you're playing Space Marines against Eldar, and Eldar keep winning a lot of battles, they are actually winning on the world map. They're winning more of the Space Marines' territories. And there are right now 4 factions: Chaos, Space Marines, Eldar, and Orcs.
Oh, we all know Chaos Space Marines is going to be the best one.
And there is a 5th faction that Juice will care about, but that's the PvE faction that is Tyranids. And you go into a Tyranid hive and fight against them.
So you have to fight the hive while you're fighting the other guy.
Yeah, well, it would be in a map cycle, though. You're just fighting the hive, and it would be just a PvE thing, like your guys, almost like Left 4 Dead, where it's just your team against computer-generated bots of Tyranids.
Word.
That is actually coming out live. I mean, it's been out for pre-order and for people who are in the beta. for a while, but it's actually going live September 23rd. So that is next week, right? Or the week after the next. So very, very soon.
That'll be fresh.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a good go in there and just blow stuff up. I am terrible at it, so I just kind of just run around and get killed. So in my experience, it's exactly like the tabletop because I go, hey, what is that thing? Oh, it's an Eldar guy. I'm dead. That's basically the way.
Some stupid little scrawny space elf shooting a ninja star launcher at me, penetrating my power armor.
And right now it is not free to play. It is more like Guild Wars was when it first came out, where you just buy the game, like, $39, I think is what it is. And you can play. And then, of course, once you're in there, they got to get you with, the kind of in-app purchases so you can buy their flurbos or whatever the currency of the game is.
There's ARPs.
Yeah, and buy more stuff to upgrade and upgrade your armor, upgrade your stuff. But you can grind for that stuff as well. And some of the stuff you can only get through combat victories. The second game news we have coming out is Battlefleet Gothic Armada. That is the RTS that's on Steam. The Tau Empire is in beta right now, so you should be able to download it if you got the game. So you can check it out. I know a lot of folks were a bit salty about the balance on Battlefleet Gothic Armada. I've only been playing the single player campaign, so I'm having a blast with it. It's a lot of fun. Now, Battlefleet Gothic Leviathan, which is the tablet version, which is the actual port of the tabletop game, is releasing a Black Rage campaign. And if it isn't out yet, it will be out very soon. And that is actually free for everybody who owns the game. You just got to download it. And then lastly, coming up on the video game front is Space Hulk Deathwing, which has been described as Left 4 Dead or Vermintide, but you're on a Space Hulk with a bunch of Dark Angels. That is on pre-order right now for $33.
Dude, that sounds badass.
If you've seen the gameplay and everything, it looks absolutely amazing.
So good looking. I can't wait for that to come out.
It
randomly generates Space Hulks. Like, it randomly generates the rooms. So every time you play, it's not the same.
That's like the old Diablo 2, how the dungeons only had like so many maps, but every time you came in, it was different.
Yeah. So it's like, and it's 4 people. If you play solo, you play as the librarian, and you go, and it creates, bots to run with you. But it's basically meant to be played like Left 4 Dead.
Is it first person shooter like Left 4 Dead, or is it top down?
I think it is. It's in between. It's like a third person, but there might be a first person view
with a fog of war element where you can't quite see all the squares ahead of you.
I don't know the answer to that. It is not turn based though. It is like full bore,
shit
action.
Your pants, like fucking Left Dead Space, fucking scary.
Are you able to ever play the good guys?
The Tyranids? I do not think so.
Oh, okay,
not at this time. But I don't know, because in like Left 4 Dead, you were able to play zombies and
zombies. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so
most of those games you pick
turns, like a Broodlord or something.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be a sick game, and I just wish I had time to play it, but I only got enough time in my life for one 40k, and that's 40k the tabletop game.
Yep. And then the really big news that came out last week is that Fantasy Flight Games and Games Workshop, who have been partners for 7 or 8 years now, kind of parted ways. They broke up, and I wanted to just highlight, before we get into the reasons why or whatever, I just wanted to highlight some things that folks might not be thinking of, that you might want to snatch up if you're a 40k player. For instance, Fantasy Flight Games made some really sweet dice bags that had like orcs and the Aquila and the Inquisition symbol, a bunch of different stuff like that. So those are not going to be around much longer, obviously.
And card sleeves too.
They did. That was the next thing I was going to talk about, was card sleeves. I'm like, this is stuff that's going to go away. If you're playing card games, if you play Magic or whatever, you want to sleeve your cards and 40k stuff, that stuff is going to go away first. The board games will be around. You'll be able to pick up, even used, you'll be able to pick up these board games a while. But I feel like dice bags and card sleeves, I don't know too many people reselling like used card sleeves, but that might be a thing. But I'm like, especially with the new Death Watch, grab one of those Inquisition dice bags. Give your army some flavor. But yeah, so for folks who might not know, Fantasy Flight Games took a lot of Games Workshop games and incorporated them into board games, or had an extremely successful role-playing game that started with Dark Heresy, went on to Rogue Trader, Death Watch, Black Crusade, and Only War. And I think that's all of them, right? That's all of them. You know what? And I played 3 out of those 5, and I didn't realize that they're the ones who, like, they went it together. Yeah.
This was news to me. Like, I'm such a God. I can't believe I've been living in a hole so long that I didn't realize that they were. Because I just think of them, as the guys who made X-Wing and being the biggest X-Wingers on the block, with X-Wing being the most, the most profits shown by any miniature style game there is.
And actually, they just posted up the spring sales figures, and X-Wing topped Warhammer again for the second 2 quarters in a row. And conversely, number 3 I think was Armada, Privateer, Press. I think Privateer, Press was 3.
FFG,
yeah. 4 was Armada, and 5 was once again Star Trek Attack. Is a licensee of FFG because they licensed them the rules to run the Star Trek version of X-Wing.
So they're twice in the top 5 and number 1.
3 times.
3 times in the top 5.
Well, twice and a licensee. Yeah, so basically 3 times.
And what they've been doing in the last couple of years was very helpful to gamers, because they were taking old Games Workshop games like Fury of Dracula and Talisman, and reprinting them in just AAA format, just fantastic. If you've ever played a Fantasy Flight board game, you know that every component is top notch. It's world class. It can't be beat. They made some adaptations. Like, one of my favorite games that I play solo a lot is Death Angel, which is Space Hulk, but as a card game. And it is absolutely fantastic. They came out with the Forbidden Stars game, which was kind of an imitation 4X kind of a board game. So it was kind of like Twilight Imperium, but 40k themed, and obviously a lot more combat emphasized. A Relic, of course, which was the 40k version of Talisman, which I actually like better than Talisman because it fixed a lot of the Talisman. I felt was a little bit simpler than Relic, and I think that's covering most of it anyway.
So you're telling me I need 40K Conquest. Relic. Sorry.
If you don't have it, I would definitely pick it up. I would definitely.
And there was only one expansion for it. One with, what was it? The one with Karn on the cover. I forget what it was called.
Yeah. So it's like, and it also shows, I think, the power of other media to influence things, because X-Wing is a fantastic game. Armada is a fantastic game. Don't get me wrong. But if they were called, 7 Seas or something like that, and it was all tall ships, and you know what I mean, I don't think it would be selling nearly as much as because it says Star Wars. So GW kind of needs to get off their butts and make a 40K bona fide movie, like a real thing, like not Ultramarines. Like, I'm talking like get a big studio to do something with it.
Yeah, because they need to get that brand out there so it's more consumable.
Exactly.
Faster audience. Because right now you're talking about a niche within a niche. You know what I mean? Like, we're like we are. I mean, but I think GW, that might be on the horizon, because look at all the social media plays they're making. They're getting savvy to what needs to happen. Warhammer TV just did their first Twitch broadcast last weekend.
Yeah, that was the Age of Sigmar tournament, wasn't it?
Yep.
Oh, that was brilliant. It was
so their media team, which is Warhammer TV, which is like Duncan Rhodes and whoever else is behind the camera, that's been the power play they've been making, is like expanding the media team to do more stuff. And they so they did their Twitch channel, Warhammer TV. First stream that I've seen last weekend. There wasn't even 60 followers on the channel yet because it was so new, and they had over 500 live viewers.
Wow.
Like, because he's like, all right, guys.
The audience. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's a big deal. If you're going to come into a niche within a niche, and there's already multiple streamers out there streaming multiple times a week in this niche, not getting 500 views, and these guys come on the scene because they are who they are, GW, before they even got 80 followers on Twitch. They had 500,000 live viewers. This means that they are not stupid. They're making the plays. They're trying to, because if you use Twitch and you branch out to a whole new world, and you get more people, like it's like what we always talk about, like all ships rise with the tide. That's what happens. If the more people who know about Games Workshop and the more people who know about this, that 40k, what a Space Marine is, what a Eldar is, that is better for everyone involved. That is how you breathe life into something. And I am confident GW is not unaware of this problem and is probably talking to studios right now.
Yeah, I mean, Hasbro has been turning their toys into movies for years, decades.
Decades, man.
Decades. They had G.I. Joe and Transformers were basically glorified commercials for buy these toys.
Yep.
Oh, you remember those old 80s commercials? They were the best. Oh, the absolute best. Man, yeah, they definitely have something going on. And, I have some theories because we saw them come out to that Las Vegas license show back in June, remember? And people were like, yo, why are they selling the property to Talisman? Why are they trying to license Talisman, the Fury of Dracula, and some of that other stuff? And, they even had the products sitting on the shelf there. And I even pointed it out at the time. I was like, yo, this is weird. I don't know what's going on here. Well, I have a personal theory. Don't know if this is the case, but it seems like if their license was February to February, they already knew that FFG was not going to renew.
Was not going to pursue it. Yeah, because FFG has to pay the mouse now. And the mouse ain't cheap. So if you've only got, a set number of dollars in your budget for licensed products, you're going to pay Star Wars. That's where your money's
even if it's a multi-million-dollar budget, you're still saying like, yo, Star Wars is where it's at, homie.
And it could even be that since they, merged or got bought out by Asmodee, I don't know the exact specifications. I've heard it both ways from different people that they are bought out or they merged. But either way, it could be that their focus shift to, becoming the conglomerate or whatever, So there's that. We don't know.
And they're trying to launch their own miniatures game.
Now that was really interesting because Gen Con this year was all about what is that? That rune game. That
Runebound, as I think what it's called, right?
Now if you look at it, it looks to be basically like fantasy, right?
Right. It's all block troops. They're in rank and file.
But they use the X-Wing maneuver dial and maneuver templates, very similar thing to perform their actual maneuver, and you have to set it down. So there's that random thing.
Damn! So they're basically keeping a award-winning system in play,
right?
And applying it to a tabletop. You know what's good about that system? This is something I've always liked about it. Because like here's a problem with like a traditional tabletop strategy game like that we play, like Warhammer 40k. Everyone's always like, oh, I love it because I'm like, we're the general. Like I'm the general of this army, and like. And we're battling as generals. Like you're not, dude. That's not the correct analogy for your roleplay. You're actually roleplaying as God, because you see literally everything the enemy's doing at all times. There's no secrets. Nothing is a surprise attack. There's like when people talk about like real life tactics. Like I know so many people are like, why doesn't this work? Like when we used to play with Ender back in the day when he first started. And this dude's like a military mastermind, dude. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, this doesn't work. I was like, because I can see it all coming from a mile away because I'm literally God. Like, there's no surprise. There's no pincer. If I fall for any of these tactics, it's because I let you do it because I can see it. When you take something and say, I'm going to move, and you turn it upside down, and I know it can be one of like 5 established tactics, but I don't know which one it is. You know what I'm saying? Now you're a general. Now you're having to feint people. Now you're having to bait people. It changes the entire dynamic of the role play. I am, for one, totally excited to play a tabletop strategy game that has an element like that in it.
Wow, Kenny, I've never even thought about it like that. I'm like, because I have to admit, up until 47 seconds ago, I was like, I'm a general of an army now. We have literally got the God camera.
And I get to open your book and your armor. I get to know every intimate detail about your force, like as an omniscient being would. I get to flip through your codex. I get to look at your army list. I get to see your war gear. I know all your combos. Literally, there's no surprise element.
So it's cool, though. And again, like I'm playing this out in my head about what you're saying. It's like literally, I love the aspect of that of Star Wars because I still, again, as going back and forth as generals, I know the scape of what you can do, but I don't know in what application you're going to do it. That's where the dial, comes in, and depending on what you feel at that point in time. So, no, man, great analogy, way to change the perspective.
Yo, so check this out. So this is from FFG's actual page. Listen to this. An innovative command system. You'll carefully choose exactly how you want your units to act at the beginning of each round in a game of Rune Wars. The action dial, which looks very similar to basically two X-Wing dials kind of strapped together or punch carded together. The action dial determines how your unit will act, whether you send your spearmen charging into the fray, fire a volley of arrows from afar, or wheel in position to set up a stronger attack. The modifier dial, on the other hand, allows you to carefully tailor your action to the current battlefield. You may boost your defense, increase your attack power, rally your troops, or even gain additional actions.
So it's like basically, do you want to play defensive, or do you want to or do you want to be like an innovator and go out there and try to lure and bait the enemy? Like, I like those, because then there's still like an overall arcane tactic you can still design an army around.
Now, here's what you're not going to believe. Unlike X-Wing, Rune Wars figures come unpainted. Every new figure is a blank slate for you to paint, customize, and forge an army that only you could have made.
Oh. Wow.
It's so crazy because, GW had a disappointing presence at Gen Con this year.
Very disappointing.
Yeah, that's the number one thing I heard from all my people, was like they were very disappointed by the presence. And that's kind of in line with everything we're talking about here. And additionally, like GW's media team, like we talked about, but this is no longer a secret. People have already been talking about this on their various public channels. GW is coming to America in 2017. Their media team is coming to America in 2017. We know fact of at least one, and I won't talk about the rumors of the other ones, but they're factually have met with Frontline Gaming and factually have plans to come to LVO and with their media team, their actual media stream team, and stream from LVO. And you can assume that that's not all.
No, we know that's not all, but we can't talk about it.
Like there is more.
Yeah.
They're not going to send their people all the way across the pond, their actual media team, for just one thing. So
no,
GW is absolutely involved.
They'd had a disappointing presence at Gen Con for years. I mean, one of the reasons I used to go to Gen Con every single year. That was our big thing. And we got really roped into the Lord of the Rings system, and we're playing it at Gen Con. But then the GW basically pulled out of there. And the reason was they were concentrating on their games days. So why share the glory at Gen Con when you can focus exactly your message on Games Day? But that was back when we in North America had like 5 Games Days. I mean, there were a ton of them, and now is there even one in Chicago anymore? I don't know.
There hasn't been a Games Day in America since like 2011 or 12, I believe.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It was Memphis or something.
So they got to bring that back.
They're coming back. They're not going to reinvent the wheel. They're going to use and piggyback off the system of amazing independent play that we've built in America through all these different channels ever since America left. So they're not being dumb. This time around, they're coming in and they're going to use the vast network of organized play that already exists in this country. And I think that is how they're going to bring it back, and that's how they're going to re-enter the game system, and they're going to bring that, like, essentially that tide's going to rise with overall awareness as they, settle into this like new style of communicating ideas and creating communities, which is like live streaming and live TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a brave new world for sure, and we're excited to be part of it and be watching the internets every day, and it's really exciting. It's exciting to see what Fantasy Flight is doing too, because they are obviously setting up a competing product right now.
Oh yeah, and competition for us is good. And like we were talking about before the podcast started, nobody loses in this. It's like if FFG and GW parting, nobody gets hurt. Kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Both companies are on good footing to do what they do best. As gamers, more product means more stuff for us to play. It's better. It's a better thing. And Games Workshop can now either relicense those properties or put them out themselves. I mean, They put out Talisman. They're the ones we've seen that they're putting out board games again, like Silver Tower and stuff like that. So it's like, okay,
you are so right, Haspel, because like this happened in the video game industry, like during like the GameStop used game oligarchy, bubble that hurt video games for so long. It just became about licensing engines. Right. And so there was a complete lack of innovation for like 5-6 years in video games because, there was this weird thing happening that forced everyone to do this, but it just became like everyone was just licensing one engine or two engines. And so there was no reason to be innovative. It was just, let me put out titles. Let me put out 4 titles this year instead of 1 title and take a gamble on it. So you're just playing the same game over and over again from like 2008 to like, man, I don't even know, like until recently when Steam became so epic and the used game industry is reflected cost-wise on that digital service while also the developers are still getting their money and now their incentive to create innovating. This is going to create even more innovation than we've seen in the past.
Yeah, definitely.
All day.
But I do want to say that if anybody, I don't think GW wins monetarily. For example, like going into this venture, obviously FFG has got a monetary value that they want to go do on their own, right? But you want to know what this does? I think this is going to, it must. GW now is in all gears have to go forward. They are forcing, GW is doing to themselves, or FFG is doing GW is what GW has been doing to us. Thank you, GW, for forcing me to take 30 Termagants, to get a free Termagon because I was just going to limp on for so long with my minimal unit. You know what I mean? Like FFG is basically saying, either way, depending on what entity it was, they're saying, we're going to go do our own thing. GW has got to know they cannot be left in the dust on this, and they have to keep going and moving forward, forcing their hand to make the game better for us. So, Haspel, I agree. This is a good thing for all around. Just different elements for each company is what's going to be benefiting.
Yeah. I was talking to a buddy of mine, and I said X-Wing was to GW the Sputnik launch when the U.S. was basically sitting.
Great analogy.
Sitting back going, hey, we're the tightest, we have the best technology, we have everything, and then Russia puts a satellite in orbit and makes us look like idiots. All of a sudden, you're like, hey, we got to get to the moon. You know what I mean? But then Russia keeps getting probes to the moon before we do. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, we need to do something right now. So this is like GW, hey, other people are playing this game too. And right now, we're not winning. So it's their wake-up call, and of course I think competition is a great thing. So it's just we're going to get a lot of really
when
good
competition is done right, it is the most best thing there is,
most bestest ever because
in the history of ever.
Yeah,
I mean, no army gets painted faster to sometimes a good standard and everything else than when there's a tournament.
And because true competition is a mutual quest for excellence. And so like that, it can't be done without your opponent. And that's like the big problem. Like a lot of people get into with competition is like, they don't understand that, the old analogy where it's like, oh, you have to, you're only ever competing against yourself when you're out there. I was like, man, that's a bunch of bullshit. Like you have to recognize that you can't even test yourself against a measuring stick if somebody else isn't mutually questing for their own excellence.
Yeah. If you want to lift more weight, don't lift alone.
Don't lift alone, man. If you want
that's it.
You're only as good as the guy who's giving you the honor of fighting him or competing against him. So like on this mutual quest for excellence, it's going to get super real. GW's making the power plays, man. Like I literally couldn't be more excited about this news.
Yeah,
it's a good thing for a lot of reasons. I think we should switch over because we're getting
to Blood Angels. Yes.
Yeah. So, well, real quick, let me run down the GW releases for this week. Of course, we got a ton of Blood Angels releases along with the Angels Blade new supplement. Now, the new Blood Angel releases are only generally on par. They're $5 more, but you get that upgrade sprue, which is like $14 value. Came out about a year ago this week.
So they're really doing it like the Death Watch release, basically. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's cool though. That was good.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. Now on the negative side, it looks like they're super allocating this stuff out again. So nobody really knows what's going on with that. It's a developing story. We're talking to a lot of people trying to figure it all out. But chances are, if you're looking to get the Blood Angel stuff this weekend, you might have to go to a couple different stores because there's some shenanigans involved, whether it's the whole China or the one shipper going on or filing bankruptcy and their stuff having to get downloaded and offloaded. Nobody knows exactly what's going on or if it's some sort of agenda. But just keep in mind, you might not be able to walk in your store this week and actually find the stuff you want to buy if it's Blood Angel related, which is unfortunate because, how easy is it to make this stuff? All that stuff aside, and next week's release is the Gore Chosen box, which is actually a good deal because if you figure out the 4 models that come inside it are all $30 each, that's $120 value for $60 box board game.
Oh, wow. Is that going to be super limited too?
Supposedly not. Supposedly they printed out a lot. Don't know. I'm hearing no.
What are the 4 models again?
So they're for the Khorne Age of Sigmar guys. I think it's like a Slaughter Priest. I don't know their exact names. There's like a Deathbringer and
gotcha.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like it's all those badass looking dudes that are all $30 each. They look fresh. I mean, it's totally worth picking up the game. I mean, if the game itself is good, that's a bonus because you're already saving 50% over those models. So, and you could always convert them over to go with stand behind Karn because nobody stands in front of Karn. You always stand behind him.
No. Now you have to stand in front of him.
And what's the name of this Age of Sigmar box?
It's called the Gore Chosen.
And Rob, just to make sure we do our due diligence for this week, I'll bite the bullet. Have you heard of any Age of Sigmar Skaven box sets coming out?
We get to talk about Age of Sigmar twice. I love it. No, sure haven't. Sorry, bud. I think all that's on the future radar for Age of Sigmar looks to be the regular dwarfs and the Dark Elves, the Shadowkin. They basically told GW stores to send their stuff back, like, I want to say a month and a half ago now. It might have been a month. So we're probably on a 2 months to maybe 1 month release cycle for them to actually hit at some point, probably the holiday season, maybe, give or take.
Wow.
So it won't be all 40K forever. But remember, they showed that. I don't know. Did you see that, Juice? They showed a Gene Stealer cult, a little teaser a couple of days ago.
I did see that. I've watched it.
But it's not going to be next week, so it might be 2 weeks out. We're not exactly sure yet.
All right. Well, you want to hit a quick commercial break and then talk about why Blood Angels is going to change everything?
The world.
Dear veterans, quickly make your way to thelongwar.net and find out how to reap your hard-earned spoils of this long war. For our allies at dicehead.com have rewarded us all with an extra 6% discount on all dicehead.com merchandise. So stock up, dear veterans, and enjoy. Dear veterans, quickly make your way to thelongwar.net and find out how to reap your hard-earned spoils of this long war. For our allies at secretweaponsminiatures.com have rewarded us all with an extra 10% discount on all Secret Weapon Miniatures merchandise. So stock up, dear veterans, and enjoy.
And we're back. Rob, lay it on us, brother.
So there's the Blood Angels are back. I don't know if you've heard. This is how I started 2 weeks ago. I was like, Kenny, did you hear Chaos is back? I feel like it's me and you, and I'm Charlie Brown, and you're Snoopy, and we're sitting on a dock. And I'm like, hey, Snoopy, did you hear Blood Angels are back?
I'm like, no, how could I? I'm literally an imaginary person.
No,
just tell me.
So the Angel's Blade is the newest Black Crusade book coming out. It has 2 new detachments, and I want to say 4 data sheets, 9 formations inside of it. One specializes for Death Company, the other one is just general Blood Angels. So let's break it down. Let's talk about some of these. Let's just run through the formations, I guess, because I think that would probably be the best way to do it. So we'll do that first and then hit the detachments itself, because, if you know what the formations are, then it gives you an idea when I say them inside the detachments. So first off is they actually got a demo company, which was to be expected. The special rules are you can, if this formation is your primary detachment, you can reroll the result when rolling on the Warlord's traits table from Codex Blood Angels. And they get this special rule called the Red Thirst, which is they get +1 initiative until the end of the assault phase, as long as they are not disorderly charging. Pretty self-explanatory up front. Now, the demo company has 2 different ways to take it. You can take it with a captain or a chaplain. If you take it with a captain, you have to take a command squad. If you take it with a chaplain, you have to take a Furioso. Those 2 caveats aside, you also have to take 3 tactical squads, 1 fast attack choice, which could be assault squad, bike squad, attack bike squad, or land speeder, and 1 devastator squad and 1 dreadnought.
So it's basically identical to the Space Marine to carry on, except for the caveat of the dreadnought or the command squad. Is it not objective secure?
Not objective secured.
So this
What?
is a hot pile of garbage.
Yeah.
Wait a second. It's a demi company, isn't it? No, just read the next line, Rob. I know it says objective security.
So under special rules, when they said Red Thirst and you get to reroll Warlord traits, it also says objective secure, though, right?
If it's written in invisible ink, yes.
Hold on, I've got a crayon you can borrow. We'll write it in as many Blood Angel books as possible.
There's almost nothing you can say about this.
Why did you even say it's a Decuron? You should have just said a demi company. It's just a detachment.
It's just a shitty detachment with no it's.
Well, no, this isn't a detachment. This is a formation.
Or whatever. They're formations, detachments, all the same thing in a world of Warhammer 40k. The special rules on this, even though it looks exactly like a demi company, doesn't have the thing that makes a demi company good.
Right, exactly. It basically gives you +1 initiative, which you also get from the detachment. So it's a little disappointing.
So this is hot pile garbage. Got it.
Yeah, basically. And that's what I'm seeing. Archangel's Orbital Intervention Force. Say that 10 times fast. It's basically 3 units of either Terminator squads or Terminator assault squads, which really isn't too bad when you start thinking about it, I suppose. The special rules are swift deployment. All units in the formation must be held in Deep Strike Reserve. When making reserve roll a single die in the entire formation. On a successful roll, all units in the formation arrive. Not too bad. And orbital intervention. This is, I think you guys will like this. Terminator assault squads in this formation can instead charge on the turn they arrive from Deep Strike Reserve, but count as making a disorderly charge. And the normal Terminator squads can shoot twice on the turn they arrive. The second round of shooting does not need to target the same enemy unit.
That's pretty good.
This is like the Chaos Terminator one, but with now you can charge.
Yes,
I can get behind a lot of that.
So what's the HQ that you have to take?
No HQ, just 3 units of taken from Terminator squads or assault squads.
So like 675 points, and you have 3 Terminator squads at assault.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's really actually not bad.
This is a win. This is really way better than the shit we were talking about earlier. That's amazing. So that's only a 675 point investment for 15 Storm Shield Thunderhammer Terminators that come in on turn 2 on 1 roll, which is easy. It's easy to manipulate that roll with a comms relay, and it's easy because now you only need teleport homers for these guys because they're Terminator armor, and you can put teleport homers all over the fucking place in your army. So you can take a real demi company with a bunch of teleport homers and locator beacons, and this is a win. This is a good one. Not pile of garbage.
This is not. This goes into the W column. I can get behind them. And you want to know what? This plays into everybody. Everybody's got Blood Angel Terminators, assault and shooting ones. You know, I can't get mad if you're shooting these guys anyway. You know, you're not giving up your shooting Terminators. I can get behind shooting an assault cannon twice at 2 different units.
Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with that. And you know you're going to be in range because there's shenanigans. Yeah. So, all right. So scale it back from what I just said, and let's talk about the Archangel's Demi Company. It is a formation that consists of a Terminator captain, 2 Furiosos, and 5 units chosen in any combination from the following list: Terminator Squad, Terminator Assault Squad, Vanguard Vets, and Stern Guard Vets. Special rules conferred are stubborn. Elite Strike Force. They may make reserve rolls for units in this formation from your first turn. Storm of Angels, you can reroll failed reserve rolls for units in this formation with the Deep Strike special rule. In addition, units from this formation arriving from Deep Strike Reserve scattered D6 less. normally D6, D6 inches rather than 2D6, obviously, unless you have something else to reduce it. The Angel's Virtue. This formation is chosen as your primary. Then you can re-roll the result when rolling on Warlord Traits table and Codex Blood Angels. So it's a little pricey, but it does stuff. I don't know.
Nothing to get excited about, but yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
So coming up with the whole teleport Homer and beacon shenanigans, you have the 10th Company Ambush Force, which is a formation consisting of either a scout squad, 3 to 5 scout squads or scout bike squads. The scout bike squads must be equipped with cluster mines. So I think that's extra points. I'm actually not sure. Special rules, concealed positions. Each unit in formation that deploys using infiltrate does not have the stealth special rule and does not have the stealth special rule. It is concealed. Okay. Oh, because I guess they wouldn't take cloaks.
This is basically the 10th Company Task Force or whatever it's called. This is almost identical to the one in the Space Marine Codex. It's almost the cluster down.
Oh, yeah, because it gets a stealth special rule, right, if it moves. Yep. Okay, that's what it is. And then the other special rule is the trap is sprung. During the first game turn, all units in this formation have precision shot special rule. I don't know. I guess it's okay.
It has a place, but it's so crazy how prevalent precision shot was.
And now it's not.
Now, it's almost nowhere to be found.
It's true. It's very rare to see. So next up is the Death Company Strike Force, which is a formation consisting of 1 Death Company Chaplain, which has its data sheet in here. This is a separate unit now. 3 Death Company squads and 1 to 3 Death Company dreadnoughts. The Death Company squad in a formation can take a Storm Raven gunship as a dedicated transport. All right. Their special rules are any models in the Death Company squads in this formation and all the dreadnoughts add 1 to their attack characteristic while they are within 12 inches of the formation's Death Company chaplain, which definitely has that old school flair.
Yeah, absolutely. I love aura stuff. It's cool if you're already running these things. You just got better. You got a little bonus.
You got a little buff. Now, this is definitely going to be a fan favorite, I feel like. This is called the Golden Host. And it's a formation, either a Sanguinar or a Commander Dante, and 2 to 5 units of Sanguinary Guard. The special rules are Airborne Assault. Again, you can choose the turn. Oh, no. From your second turn, you can choose the turn in which the units formation arrive. No need to roll a dice. All units in formation must arrive on the same turn, and all must deep strike onto the battlefield. You can re-roll the scatter dice when the units in this formation arrive from Deep Strike Reserve. And remember, Dante already comes with, if you take him, the reduction of a D6 scatter. So that's super accurate. Then the units in formation can charge on the turn they arrive from Deep Strike Reserve, but always count as making a disordered charge when they do so.
Yeah, that's the one that got my attention. That one and the Terminator one we were talking about. I think those are wins right there.
As you guys are talking, I'm just looking at my Beats lab. You want to know how good the Terminator one is? You can take that Terminator Force, whatever it's called, Terminator Dream Crusher, and you can literally fit it in a Gladiator Strike Force, White Scar Gladiator Strike Force.
Ouch.
Like a literal Strike Force, not a stupid, demi company. You literally can move points around enough that you can put it in an army with 1 billion objective secure units, with free everythings and teleport. You can do 6 tactical squads, all with half of them with teleport homers and located beacons and drop pods, and the rest of them just in free rhinos. And literally, you can just say these guys don't have guns, these do, and literally here I'm on all the objectives the whole game, and here is 15 Terminators on turn 2, just assaulting you off of all these located beacons and teleport homers.
Yo, you're right. I can see so many applications where 15 Thunderhammer Storm Shield Terminators is going to put work in.
Yeah, there's quite a few situations where most people would not want that in the girls, especially in the girls assaulting. Neg one attack or not. That's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
And since you have to take the one in the Gladius, you have to take an auxiliary. So you take the 10th Company one with the 3 scout squads. You just take scout squads with teleport homers now that infiltrate and scout. So you have literally all these just teleport homers literally is everywhere you can possibly imagine. You have 3 separate Terminator squads that are going to get in there and get in combat on the turn they come in. It is absolutely insane. Like that is like, I'm like, well, that's the new shit. This is a classic Blood Angels. Blood Angels in name only. Like Blood Angels, always the ally, never the main force.
So sad.
Yeah.
Chapter Ancients is the next formation. It consists of 3 to 5 units of Librarian Dreadnought or Furioso Dreadnought. Their special rules are well-timed blow once per battle at the start of any Blood Angel's turn. The Dreadnoughts in this formation can deliver a well-timed blow upon the foe. When they do so, instead of moving in the movement phase, they can either shoot as if it were the shooting phase or pile in a fight as it were the fight sub-phase. Different Dreadnoughts can carry out different actions. Some might move, some might shoot. We get the idea there. Dreadnoughts that shoot or fight can do so later in the same turn. That's it.
So you can shoot twice? Is that what you just said? Shoot in the moving phase and then shoot in the shooting phase?
It's the start of the turn. So you would shoot at the start of the turn and you still be able to shoot in the shooting phase. Same with attacking. You would pile in and fight as if it were the fight sub-phase during the start of the Blood Angel's turn. And still fight.
So going without any shooting questions, going to the assault, does that mean my opponent gets to swing back at me, or I just get, if I'm in combat at the beginning of my turn, I get to consolidate in, do my full set of swings, moving, shooting, and now it's the assault phase. I pile in again, do my swings, and then receive the swings from my enemy.
I do not think they get to attack because it says you get to pile in and fight as if it were the fight sub-phase.
I mean, this doesn't suck. And what do you have to take?
3 to 5 units of Dreadnoughts of the 3 flavors.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yo, there's Evan Van Dyke. This is you, dog.
Yeah,
I'm sure I'll have something to say. Currently, he's on this is a White Scars supplement.
Yeah,
he's very salty.
he's getting salty.
Super salty right now. Next up is a Storm Raven squadron that consists of 2 to 4 Storm Raven gunships. Special rules are once per battle at the start of any of your turns, you can pick an enemy unit anywhere on the battlefield to be the target of this annihilation strike. When you do so, the Storm Raven gunships that are within 72 inches and have line of sight must fire all of the remaining Storm Strike missiles at it, conduct the attacks as if they were being carried out in the shooting phase. So this is, again, shooting at the start of the turn. No other attacks can be made by the Storm Raven gunships as part of the Annihilation Strike. They can also shoot again in the shooting phase of the same turn using the weapons remaining and not counting the Storm Strike missiles they use as a number of attacks that can be made this turn. So,
wow.
That's a lot of missiles.
Yeah.
Coming in hot.
And those are the Strength 8 AP2.
Yeah,
right?
It's an Alpha Strike, but now the entire unit has to just pick one. All your flyers have to pick just one unit to shoot out, or each flyer can pick one.
Can pick a...
The formation picks a unit, or the units pick a unit. Like, what
you
does
can
it
pick
say?
an enemy. You can pick one enemy unit anywhere, and any Storm Raven gunships from this formation.
Nah.
So it sounds like
shooting the same thing.
You're shooting at the same thing. Well, that gets rid of your super heavy or whatever.
Yeah,
It does, but you want tactical flexibility. Like it's definitely not the it's definitely in the top ones we've listened to so far.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely powerful.
Last formation is a Lucifer Armored Task Force, which is 1 Tech Marine, 3 to 5 units of either Ball Predators or Preds, and 1 to 3 units. Any combination from the following list: Land Raider, Crusader, Land Raider.
So this is like the fist of the gods from Chaos. So yeah, you can do the OG list, yeah.
Yep. And you can also take these guys as squadrons now with that squadron abilities.
You can literally take like 12 Predators, like you know, or 15. You can take 15 and that's your army if you wanted to.
Plus 1 Tech Marine and 1 Land Raider.
Oh, you have to take the Land Raider?
You have to take 1 to 3 Land Raiders. And
What are they? Oh my God, they've got a real good formation. Don't get me wrong. They've got the triple Terminator, but their demi company didn't get objectives secure. Chaos did. Their Fist of God said you have to take a Land Raider. Chaos said no, you don't. You can if you want.
So maybe this is why, because the special rule, they have Scout. Okay, so all these are going to have Scouting Land Raider. And then first in the battle, all Predators and Land Raiders in this formation have overcharged engines at no additional cost, which means that all of the...
So you don't pay that extra 15-point tax or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. So they all become fast.
So you can do another crazy army. You can do 3 Land Raiders with Terminators in it that scout, and possibly 3 Deep Striking Terminators. I don't know if the points will shake out.
That's a lot of points.
So right out the gate, like we'll have a list next week for top 3 formations. I already know that White Scar's Gladiator Strike Force plus triple Deep Striking charge. That's already on the list of lists that we're going to put out next week. But possibly 30 Terminators.
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, you got to do a CAD on top of it, but like, how? I mean, there might be. It's a lot of expensive units. There could be play there because you have to take 3 to 5 units, and one of them has to be a Land Raider, or is it 3 additional to the Land Raider?
I think it was 1. You have to have 1.
You have to have 1 Land Raider, and how many other units minimum? Nothing.
A Tech Marine.
So Tech Marine, Land Raider. Minimum.
And 3 to 5 either Predator or Ball Predator.
So you have to take an additional 3. So the whole formation is in 3 units? Okay, so you have to take fucking Land Raider and 3 Predators?
The whole formation for the Lucifer Task Force would be 5 total units minimum. 3.
Oh my god!
3 of the Predators, 1 Land Raider, and 1 Tech Marine.
Now, kid, so you don't get the option to take more Land Raiders in this.
You can take 1 to 3, I believe. They're not squad.
So I have to take 4 Land Raiders to do Land Raiders.
No, you can take 3. 1 to 3 units in any combination from the following list: Land Raider Crusader, Land Raider Redeemer, and also 3 to 5 from either Ball Predator or Predator.
Oh, okay. So you can take. So you can take a. So the minimum would be like for Land Raider.
Predator and 3 Predators and a Land Raider.
Mm-hmm.
Or 3 Land Raiders and a Tech Marine, right?
No, you have to take.
You have to take 3 to 5.
So never mind. There's literally no play in this list.
No, because a Predator is at least 115, and you have to take 3 of them separately.
Yeah, you have to take a 300-point tax on Predators to get your scouting Land Raiders. I feel like I'm just going to Deep Strike Terminators and assault you with them. It's better.
That seems better, yeah.
I can think of so many things, applications on where Deep Striking Terminators are good. Every one of my IG builds.
every place on the tabletop, generally, most definitely in your enemy's deployment zone with the squishy scoring stuff.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you can deploy them. Wasn't that they could do it separately too? Like you didn't bring them all in. Like they could go all over the place. Must be held back when making reserve rolls. Roll a single roll for this whole formation. All of the units in this formation arrive from Deep Strike Reserve. So it's 1 roll for up to 3 units.
Right. And then
so you can drop them wherever. Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty sweet.
What's the name of that formation again?
Orbital Doodad of Crushy Faciness.
Write it down.
Oh my god!
Orbital Intervention Force.
I'm so close to making a list that has 2 of those Terminator formations in it and 1 demi company. So you'd have 6 squads of Terminators that assault out of Deep Strike.
Wow!
Just to give you guys more food for thought, let's run down the 2 detachments real quick. So the Death Company one is let's see. So your command is 1 Death Company command, which could be either 1 to 3 of the following: Astaroth Lamartes or Death Company Chaplain. The core, which is 1+, is either a Death Company Strike Force, which we already talked about. That's the formation. The Archangel's Orbital Intervention Force, which we already talked about. The Doodad of Crushiness. 10th Company Support. Lucifer Armored Task Force, Storm Raven Squadron, or Rapid Assault Force there. Rapid Assault Force is just 1 to 3 units of fast attack choices, basically. The command benefits are, if this detachment is your primary, then you can reroll the result when rolling on Warlord traits in this book or Codex Blood Angels. They have their own specific Warlord traits for the Death Company guys in here. The Red Thirst is the +1 initiative characteristic unless you're doing a disordered charge, and unleash them upon the foe. Immediately after setting up a unit from this attachment during deployment, you can move the unit 6 inches as if it were making a move in the movement phase, so more out-of-phase stuff. the unit cannot run. Units that arrive from reserve do not receive this bonus move. So it's not a scout. It's not a redeploy. It's just a straight up move them 6 inches after you set them up. A unit from this detachment. So that's pretty cool.
I mean, that's not shitty.
It's not like there's no first turn assault with Death Company in here by any means. There is a piece of war gear that they could get Crusader, which just helps them fleet. They still can't assault afterwards.
Doesn't Crusader do one other thing besides fleet? Like after consolidation rolls, you get that like an inch, right?
I think it's D3 sweeping as well. D3
extra inches or something like that.
Mm-hmm. The only other cool piece of war gear in here is the Gilded Crozius, which is +2 strength, AP3, melee concussive mastercrafted. But the caveat that we're going to worry about probably, besides the AP3 part, is that all the models in the Bears unit have the Feel No Pain special rule. That have Feel No Pain special rule can reroll Feel No Pain rolls of 1. So all your Death Company, which automatically come with it, now can reroll those rolls of 1. So they're like Necrons. Almost, which is pretty tight. They can take relics from this list and from the Relics of Baal. And the Warlord traits table has an interesting Warlord trait on a roll of 1. Once per game, turn, as long as your Warlord is still alive, you may reroll any single dice. So that's a good one to get.
Phenomenal. Hey, I did have a question about that one. It says that you get to roll twice on the Warlord trait or on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get to re-roll those because you're a combined arms detachment?
This is re-roll the result when rolling on the Warlord traits for this detachment. I don't think this one has 2 rolls.
Oh, this one doesn't allow you to take 2 rolls and then re-roll.
Okay. I don't think so.
All right.
But that's a good one to get. All of these are good abilities, in my opinion, on the Warlord traits table for Death Company. But that's the one that's going to stand out for a lot of reasons.
I mean, you just took Corbolo's Farseeing Eye to a whole nother level. You're literally like Fate Weaver.
Which, yeah. It's pretty nuts there.
It is such a good ability. It's so crazy.
Yeah, that's the good one to get. And then the Angel's Blade Strike Force, which is the straight up Blood Angels to carry on, is so you have a command is 0 to 5, so you don't have to take a command, but you could. So you could take the Sanguinary, the Golden Host, which we already talked about. That's the one with the Sanguinary Guard, get to assault. Leaders of the Angelic Host, which are basically your HQ choices, 0 to 1 Command Squad, and 0 to 1 Storm Raven. Chapter Ancients, which we talked about, is the Dreadnought formation. And then you go over to your core choices, which are the Battle Demi Company formation, which Kenny probably has an opinion on. We've never taken that one. Archangel's Demi Company, which is that other one that's not quite as good as the Terminator one. Archangel's Orbital Intervention Force is your auxiliaries, which you have to take 1+. So that's the good one. That's the 3 Terminator Squad one. 10th Company Ambush Force, okay. Death Company Strike Force, Lucifer Armored Task Force, Storm Raven Squadron, Rapid Assault Force, which is basically 1 to 3 units from the list, which is Fast Attack. So basically your attacks might be just having to take an extra assault squad or a bike squad or attack bike or land speeder squadron, or a Fire Support Force, which is 1 to 3 Devastators, Vindicator, or Whirlwind. Those are not formations. Those are just, hey, you got to take this. It's basically tax time. Your command benefits are that you can reroll the result when rolling on a Warlord traits table. In Codex Blood Angels, you get the Red Thirst, so you get your +1 initiative, and any units from this attachment is reduced to half its starting number of models, rounding fractions down, immediately gain the Zealot special rule. So that one's an important one to talk about, I feel like.
You're getting some universal special rules for free. That is really solid.
There's no OBSEC.
Trying to be more on the upended side. But, there's a lot of formations that are solid that doesn't have to be OBSEC, right?
Like the ones where you can assault after you land?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, most of the ones in the Space Wolf, the Curse of the Wolf, and they weren't OBSEC, and they're good.
So how about this? So as you guys been talking, I was like, yeah, all this shit's stupid. Like, I'm so obsessed now assaulting Terminators. So you can take a Space Marine CAD, right? Raven. I would take Raven Guard. That'd be the one I'd take. Because Raven Guard, they have like stealth on the first turn. Right?
Okay.
And so basically I would take like 2 Dream Crusher Terminator forces,
Oh.
totaling, 6 total Assault Terminator units. And then I would take a single CAD, Raven Guard, with the cheapest HQ, like Tech Marine or Librarian for Raven Guard. And I would take, you got to take an Imperial Bunker with a comms relay and stuff a unit of scouts in there. So that way, like, now you got to, like, to table me in turn 1, you got to blow up this bunker and kill the 5 scouts inside. Additionally, another unit of scouts. All my scouts have teleport homers and locator beacons if they can have it. And then I take 3 units of scout bikers, 1 model above their minimum, roughly, and all their sergeants have locator beacons. So, like, you have, like, units of scouts that are infiltrating and scouting, and 3 units of scout bikers that are moving 12 inches when they scout after they infiltrate. So you can put them all in the clutchest situations, like behind lock inside outside terrain, all over the battlefields. They all going to have stealth on the first turn, everything like that. And they're all over the place, right? And you're saying, like, you got to kill every single one of these guys that all have stealth. They're all going to be using their infiltrate and scout moves to get in the hardest places for you to visually see, which is going to be really easy if you get to move that far. You get to say, I'm 18 inches away from you on turn 1, and then I can move 6 or 12 inches before the game starts again to get in the clutchest position. Now I'm there. Stealth. You go. I've got 1 sergeant left with a locator beacon, and 30 Terminators just drop off of that within 6 inches and don't even scatter. And they just have to roll some 2d6 assaults. And I get to reroll each one of them has an independent reserve roll because the whole formation comes in on 1 reserve roll, each one, and it's a 3-up with a reroll because of the comms relay.
Yeah.
Like,
I like it.
Even if they somehow
strong.
killed every model in your army that was in their backfield besides the scouts in the bunker, it still wouldn't matter. Then you're like, okay, aggro time. 30 Terminators coming in balls deep. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, that is some Blood Angel shit right there. Raven Guard, Blood Angel fist bump, 6 squads of 5 Assault Terminators in your group.
Ugh, that's so brutal. Nobody wants that. Nobody. I like it. I think we're gonna have a few more lists probably for next week as well. I got a few ideas.
Now I got to do my best to make lists that aren't just this over and over again.
And then you put in the Archangel's orbital intervention for us, and it's all good. ×3.
Oh
Yeah.
my god! It's
So I'll put
good.
a challenge to you. Make one using the Golden Host because I want to use that.
Yeah, that one's.
Which one's the Golden Host again?
That's a
The one
Sanguinary
with
Guard one.
Sanguinar and
Oh,
Dante.
that one works too. I'm definitely gonna put my brain on that one. That one is cool because it doesn't take as much manipulation results because they all have the set of angels, so they just scatter in 1d6 anyway.
And if you roll it, if you have
So-
Dante.
One unit's gonna re-roll it, the other one's not.
Okay.
I mean, we can make that one work easily too. It's just that, like, I've always said, like, I love Sanguinary Guard, I love them and everything, but the problem is you can't argue with a 2-up, 3-up all day. Like, it's so much sturdier, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like, they're good and I love them, but their tax is brutal. Like, fucking, versus this is like, I was like, what's the HQ you got to take for these 3 Terminator squads? None. You just take 3 Terminator squads?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Word.
I'll go get a HQ somewhere else. It's cool. You guys go that way. We'll go find you an HQ.
It's so good. I mean, and so actually, like, at the end of the day, a lot of these formations don't seem to be as tight as you expect from a Space Marine. But I heard you said we all have grav cannons again and shit like that. So now Blood Angels have grav cannons, right?
They have, the heavy grav with the grav amp are available to the Terminators, or excuse me, the Devastators for 35 points.
So
Something I
now,
looked for.
now you can put grav cannons in your Blood Angel army.
Mm-hmm.
Just not Centurions or grav cannons.
No Centurions.
I mean, small victory.
Hey, but small victories, absolutely. You got to look at that as a positive.
Oh yeah, I mean it's cool, and the assault squads get the Eviscerator now.
So their assault squads are, so that's cool. Eviscerator is a sick piece of war gear. But it's not that sick if it's not in I mean, the only time I take Eviscerator is when I'm making beats in my lab that have Skyrim Annihilation Forces.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yep.
Because a assault squad that has to jump around the table to get into combat never gets into combat.
It's kind of like that Carnifex with the 4 attacks. Just
That poor guy.
He's the worst.
He'll get there. You'll get there, buddy. You'll get there.
But I think that was a good breakdown. So, and I look forward to next week's episode being top 3 Blood Angel formations.
Yeah, I can't wait to get to some finalized lists.
Oh yeah, I think we're definitely going to have a lot to say
Definitely take a look at Facebook because we're going to be dropping them throughout the week on our Long War literature. So they're literally just print them off. They got everything you need on them. Just write your name on them. They're all going to end up being in the Beats Lab on the download section on the longwar.net. We've already added like 5 new lists for
there.
cast.
I think I got a 6 to put in there.
6 to put in there. So I mean, we're putting a lot of new lists up in the Hall of Veterans as we go.
Yeah, I should get a count on how many is there. We need to post that somewhere. So I think that's it for this one. Normally I'd say, hey, Haspel, take us out, but I think Haspel had to go to work.
No, I'm still here.
Haspel's here. He's here.
I'm going to leave in about 30 seconds.
Haspel, take us out.
I was able to obtain a viable sample of the proto-molecule. The injections have been prepared. We're ready for lockdown. The radiation units are in place. We can still do what needs to be done. We may not get another chance. We've come so far since that incredible revelation on Phoebe.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. Thelongwar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos.